So today's video is inviting a discussion about the logistics and all the other economics behind relegations, coming from someone who thinks that they knew about relegations, but in reality, kind of doesn't know anything about relegations actually. Because I was sitting yesterday especially, watching conversations about, the teams that got relegated, and for me, I thought, having watched it, split after split after split, it was the same business as usual, right? The teams that did bad in the regular season played in relegations, and then they got relegated out. And if they didn't want to be in relegations to begin with, then they should have played better in the regular season, right? Well, maybe not so much, because there's an argument about what if there wasn't any relegations to begin with? What if a team could just have a couple splits to gel and really learn, their teammates to be able to do better that way? Because if you look at another sport, let's say the NFL, for example, and I'll use the Seahawks as an example. When they first got Pete Carroll, they didn't go to the Super Bowl overnight, right? It actually took them a second, but they did eventually get there because they had time to learn their coach, learn their teammates, and come together as a team. And so that same argument is kind of being applied right now to like a team like Energy, for example, where it's like, well, what if a team just had more time? Like, what if it was just a bad split? What if the teammates actually were kind of getting stuff figured out, and now they'll never get it figured out because now the teams just got relegated? They don't even have a reason to figure things out, For the last 3 weeks of the regular season, if anything, on the back of their mind and pressuring them was the fact that they're going to get relegated potentially. So that's one argument. On the other side of the coin, I see is people like, but they're a mediocre team. They should get relegated. We only want like the best talent or the best teams in like the LCS, for example. Why should that change, if anything? And for me, what it looks like is it comes down to a difference of, for example, investors. If like an investor, it kind of hurts the scene if their team gets relegated. And again, on one hand, people are like, but then their team should have just played better. But on the other hand, it was like, but maybe they invested because in like other sports that they might have come from, this ain't even really a thing. So why would they think this was a risk? And I see several arguments going in that direction. So on one hand, for me personally, I see teams getting relegated like they always have. But on the other hand, I see people saying this is hurting the pro scene now, especially this last go around more than ever. So I'm wondering like what's changed. Obviously there's something more to it than just weeding out the bad teams and replacing them with hopefully better teams that just don't get relegated next year. But the way the system is set up right now, someone's always going to get relegated. There's always going to be a promotion tournament, and there's always going to be things like that. And of course, it's franchising, which I'm not going to get too much into, because again, I literally know nothing about that, and that's what this video is about. Opening a conversation about it. Letting people that actually know the stuff educate me, or other people that happen to watch the video when they comment or whatever, about what this really means, both for the scene and just in general. And this is even better because I see some people saying they're not necessarily for franchising, but they're not necessarily for relegations, and I see a bunch of people that are somewhere on a mix of those two. Either they're on one side of the fence or the other, or they're actually a mix of both. They're either against both of them, for both of them somehow. It's kind of random. I don't actually know. So that's what this video is about, asking that question and letting people being able to have a conversation about it as well to somebody who doesn't really know about it at all. So that's all for this video. If you did watch this far, thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, of course, but more importantly, feel free to explain the real logistics of relegations, the real, economy of the promotion tournament, franchising, selling LCS spots, and all of that stuff. So that's all for this video. Life is full of a lot of kinks. I don't know which video will be next, so until next time, take care. From the Fire God Eye, FS.